Hey everybody, thanks for checking out this video. I'm your friendly neighborhood Uncle Pete, and this is my series, Nails in a Coffin. What I do here is I go over on-screen kills in horror movies, and I rate them on a scale of 1 nail in a coffin to 4 nails in a coffin. The more stupid decisions that characters make in movies, like running upstairs instead of running outside, they get less nails. The harder the victim fights, the more they try not to die, the smarter decisions they get more nails, because we all know more nails are better. So, again, thanks for checking out this video, and if I entertain you at all during this short time, please give me a like and subscribe, and also share this video. If you know of anybody else that loves horror movies and doing kill analysis, please share this video and let's spread the word. So, what movie are we going to talk about today? Well, last week it covers Child's Play, so we're going to follow it up with Child's Play 2. First kill happens about 5 minutes into the movie during the opening credits, and it's the technician. They just finished reassembling Chucky from the remains of the first movie, and the contraption malfunctions when they go to put the fake eyes, in the Chucky doll. Well, it stops. Technician's like just does normal technician troubleshooting, I guess, where he just kind of slaps the mechanism, and then it starts working again. He puts his hand on it like, yes, he fixed it by slapping it. And the machine electrocutes him, and he dies. This death is going to get 3 nails in the coffin. Now, technically, it wasn't by anybody in particular, even though it was through the voodoo magic that brought Chucky back to life. So, based on this, like I said, I'm going to give him 3 nails in the coffin because he thought he was in a safe area. He was at work doing work stuff. He had no idea he was going to die or that this mechanism was going to malfunction the way it did and be able to electrocute him to death. So, first kill of this movie, 3 nails in the coffin. Our next kill in Child's Play 2 happens at 18 minutes in, and it's the executive stooge, Matson. So shortly after the death of technician, the head of the toy company tells Matson exactly what he can do with the doll.
Stick it up your ass.
So Matson's on his way home. It's raining outside. So before he gets in the car, he tries to throw Chucky in the trunk, but he can't fit. He's slamming the trunk door down on Chucky. Doesn't fit, so he tosses him in the back seat. On the way home, Matson has to stop by a quick liquor store to pick up a bottle of champagne for a date he has planned. And when he's inside, I like this part of the movie, Chucky calls the orphanage that Andy was at and talks to Ms. Poole, the head lady there, and she just freely gives away Andy's new address because Chucky said he was related to him.
This is his uncle, Charles.
That really sounds odd to me. So Matson gets back in the car, and as he goes to drive off, Chucky pulls a gun on him and makes him drive to Andy's new address. They pull over to this little park on the side. Next we know, Matson has his hands tied behind the seat with a jump rope, and Chucky goes to pull the trigger on his gun, but it's a water gun, and Matson's laughing like, haha, that was funny, you really got me, thinking maybe he's going to let go. But nope, Chucky suffocates him with the plastic bag around his face. I'm going to give Matson 2 nails in the coffin because he didn't put up any type of struggle that I saw, didn't fight. He could have used his peripheral vision to see that it was a doll or look through the rearview mirror to see it was Chucky. So he knows he's small. He didn't slam on the brakes, do anything. Yeah, he had a gun to his head, but he didn't try at all. So Matson is only going to get 2 nails in the coffin for his death. Next up at 37 minutes is probably one of my favorite kills in the entire Child's Play franchise. Miss Kettlewell, Andy's new teacher. Andy is sitting in the classroom because Miss Kettlewell is looking at some of the assignments the kids have done, and she pulls up Andy's assignment and sees something extremely offensive. So she's really mad, and as the kids are putting toys away, she puts Andy in the room, makes him put his head down on the desk, which a lot of us people had to do that when we were kids, takes Chucky the doll, locks him in the closet, walks out of the classroom and locks the door. Again, doesn't seem like a safe practice, leaving a child alone by himself in a classroom. So when she's gone, Andy gets up, sees Chucky in the closet, gets really freaked out, and he hightails it out of the classroom, climbing through the window. Miss Kettlewell comes back inside the classroom. She sees Andy's not there, but she hears some rustling in the closet. So she thinks Andy unlocked the locked closet, put himself in there, and then locked it again from the inside. So she goes to unlock the closet, opens it up, turns the light on, doesn't see Andy. She's looking around. Chucky surprises her out of nowhere with an air pump, stabs into her chest, and he pushes the plunger down. She goes flying back like 20 feet, which is kind of ridiculous, but she's back on the floor. She's terrified. And in one of my favorite scenes in the Child's Play franchise, Chucky walking towards her, hitting the yardstick in his hand, saying, "You've been very naughty, Miss Kettlewell." One of my favorite parts in all the franchises. So she's shrieked back in terror, and you see him start swinging the yardstick, beating her to death as the camera pans out. Miss Kettlewell is only going to get one nail in the coffin because she didn't put up any type of defense or anything. She wasn't hurt too bad after that air pump went into her. She still had all of her limbs, but she didn't kick the doll, get up, run. I know she was scared, but she had no type of defense mechanism whatsoever. So when stupid things like that happen, they're not going to get a lot of nails. So Miss Kettlewell, one nail in the coffin. Andy's new foster father, Phil Simpson, is next to go, and you will recognize his actor as Bud the Chud and in TerrorVision. This happens at 46 minutes in. It's late at night. Phil hears a ruckus down in the basement. He opens the door, and he sees Andy standing down there with an electric knife in his hand. So he starts slowly walking down the stairs, telling Andy to put it down. He sees Andy is scared, but Chucky is behind the staircase, trips good old Phil, and then we see Phil hanging upside down in the middle of the staircase, and Chucky looks at him and says,
"How's it hanging, Phil?"
Obviously, Phil is really scared, so Chucky releases the little fire poker hook that was wrapped around Phil's leg, and he falls down and breaks his neck. Now, this was only a one-story staircase, and Phil's about halfway down by the time he got tripped. So it was probably only about maybe 2, maybe 3 feet maximum that his head was up from the ground. His arms weren't restricted, so he didn't put his arms down at all to try and soften the blow or, anything. So I'm only going to have to give him one nail in the coffin because he just, again, didn't do anything. If he had put his arms down, he easily could have survived at least to brace his fall. So Phil, one nail in the coffin. Now we're 1 hour into the movie, and the next death is Grace Poole. She's the lady in charge of the orphanage where Andy is. He was sent back there after Phil's death. Now, between this time, Phil's wife was killed, but it was off screen, so I'm not going to give a rating to that. So we're at the orphanage. Chucky has Kyle hostage, and she pulls the fire alarm at the orphanage. Everybody's running out. They see Grace, they see Andy, and Grace takes Kyle, the doll, and Andy to her room and closes the door. So she's picking up Chucky, holding him. He comes to life, yells, stabs her in the chest.
Making copies!
And multiple times, and through this whole time, she doesn't throw him down, throw him to the floor, drop him, or anything. She holds him the entire time this little doll is stabbing her in the chest. Again, no defense mechanism, no survivability, or anything. She could at least, she would have been stabbed at least once, maybe twice, but she was stabbed multiple times because she never let go of Chucky. So, one nail in the coffin for good old Grace. And funny thing is, the way she dies, she falls on to a copy machine, and you see some copies of her dead now falling to the floor. Chucky's last victim in Child's Play 2 happens at 1 hour and 13 minutes in, and it's during the climax of the film where they're in the toy factory making all the other Chucky dolls. It's the factory technician who dies. Now, the machine starts to malfunction when there's a jam by the dolls at the eye installing machine, which seems pretty advanced and technical when they just probably could have just put them in another way. But there's a malfunction because of the jam up, so it just stops the machinery. The technician clears the jam, lies down on the conveyor belt, starting to loosen a bolt. I'm giving this moron one nail in the coffin, because one thing I learned from my 22 years in the Navy is anytime you're going to work on a piece of electrical equipment, do any type of maintenance on it, you turn the machine off and tag it out to avoid something like this. So if he had tagged the machine out, turned it off, or done something other than just lay on the machine, he probably would have survived and not have gotten a new set of eyes. So this factory technician is only going to get one nail in the coffin for Chucky's last kill. The last death in Child's Play 2 is no one other than Chucky himself. Again, I'm going to rate Chucky's death even though it's temporary. So he had his hand ripped off, and he replaced it with a knife. He had the lower half of his body ripped off. Now he's on a dolly dragging himself along with his one fist down and the other knife in his hand trying to go after Andy. He had most of his body melted down with molten hot plastic, and then finally killed when Kyle places an air hose into his mouth and his entire head explodes. Easily to see, Chucky did not want to die. Similar to the first Child's Play, he did everything possible to get Andy no matter what had happened to him physically. So again, I'm giving Chucky 4 nails in the coffin. And he did not want to go, and I think he earns it. So there we have it. That's my nails in the coffin ratings on Child's Play 2. I want to thank you for checking out this video. If you're still watching, I really do appreciate it. And give me some comments down below. Let me know what you think. If you agree or disagree, what was your favorite kill of the movie? Let me know what you thought. Also, please share this video. It's the Halloween season. If you know people who really love horror movies, do me a favor and share this. And I thank you for checking it out, and I will see you shortly. Again, I'm your friendly neighborhood Uncle Pete, and remember, with great kills, there must also come great nails.